after graduation, my roommates decided to kick me out of my own apartment. The only problem? They had no idea I was the owner. Fresh out of college, I had an idea. Let's all rent a place together, I suggested to my 3 roommates. The apartment I found was a steal, close to my new job, surprisingly cheap, and a world away from the cramped suburban box they were currently renting. It was a massive upgrade. For 3 months, everything was perfect. We were a happy little family. Then one day, I came home from work early and heard them talking in the living room. I looked it up, one of them said, her voice sharp with excitement. Rent in this neighborhood is at least $5 grand a month. We're paying $2,000 for the whole place. What if we rent out the master bedroom for $2 grand? Then our 3 rooms would basically be free. Done. Another voice snapped. Why does Anna get the master suite anyway? So what if she covers the utilities? How much can that possibly be? I'm so sick of her holier-than-thou attitude, the third one chimed in with a spiteful laugh. The thought of her, homeless and out on the street, I could die laughing. I smiled to myself on the other side of the door. You want to see me on the street? Too bad for them. I'm the owner. The voices inside continued, blissfully unaware. Anyway, the lease is up in 3 days. We just tell her we're not renewing with her. Haha, serves her right. Always bossing us around, acting like she owns the place. And that whole story about it being her relative's apartment, and that's why it's so cheap and we have to take care of it? Who buys that crap? I already contacted the landlord. He said we can have it for the next term. Same price. Just like that, my fate was decided. They seem to have forgotten everything. How, fresh out of college, they were too broke to afford anything near the city. How they were crammed into a tiny place in the far-off suburbs, waking up at 4 in the morning for a grueling 3-hour commute of buses and trains. It was me who couldn't stand to see them suffer. It was me who lied, saying a relative had a cheap place available and invited them to move in. The truth? This apartment was a graduation gift from my parents. A 4-bedroom, 2-bath prime piece of real estate right next to my office. A 5-minute walk to work. I could have rented it out in a heartbeat, but my parents always taught me to be discreet about our wealth, so I never told them I was the owner. I charged them a token rent of $500 each and covered all the utilities and building fees myself. And this was my reward. My kindness, thrown back in my face like trash. Taking a deep breath, I pushed the door open. The laughter in the room died instantly. The air went still. Lily was the first to recover, stretching her lips into a fake, bright smile. Anna, you're home early. Have you eaten? We made some pasta. Come have some. She pulled me into a chair at the dining table. After clearing her throat, she began her little performance. So, Anna, the landlord called. He was asking if we're planning to renew the lease. I just slurped my pasta, saying nothing. She watched my face, trying to read my expression, before continuing. We've decided not to. My hand paused. I looked up, feigning confusion. We found a cheaper place, she said, her eyes darting away from mine. You only wanted to room with us because you couldn't afford the whole rent on your own, right? So now that we're leaving, you'll probably move out too, won't you? My voice was flat. It's fine. If you guys leave, I'll just take over the whole lease. I finished a big project at work, so I'm getting a nice bonus. Lily's smile faltered. It's such a big place for one person. Isn't that a waste? Listen to me. You should find a small studio. You'd save so much money. If I hadn't heard their little scheme with my own ears, I might have actually believed she was concerned about me. I'm used to it here, I said simply, too lazy to move. Jenna, who had been silent until now, finally exploded. She slammed her fork down on the table. I was trying to be nice, but you're just not getting the hint. So let me spell it out for you. We don't want to live with you anymore. We want you to move out on your own, so don't force us to get ugly about it. I stared at her, my expression cold. I found this apartment.